Yeah.
Videos, many, many videos, hours of footage that not only I have taken, but others on the sites have taken, where you see, like on one morning, June 1st, dawn, about 5:08 in the morning. Sun hasn't broken on the horizon yet. It's that pre-dawn darkness, what we call early evening nautical twilight. It's dark. When the Palestinians are released from the holding line, where the IDF hold them back with shooting at them, and release that line, there were so many people rushing towards the site, and I have this on footage. The ground shakes. Like, as soon as they all start coming down in the magnitude of thousands, the ground was shaking. And as they're coming to the site, you just hear bullets flying overhead, tracer rounds, mortar rounds, illumination rounds popping overhead, and bullets flying everywhere. You would have thought you were in the Battle of the Bulge. Nope. Just the IDF shooting at Palestinians to communicate. There wasn't any return fire. I never saw one bullet returned. In fact, the only time on one of the sites that we were shot at was when the IDF were shooting and didn't realize they were shooting into our site. Never was there return fire from anyone. Never saw Hamas. I never even saw an armed Palestinian, not with a rifle, not with a stick, not with a club, not with a pistol, nothing. Never saw an armed. In fact, these are the Palestinians that I saw.
Yeah.
Doesn't have parents. Parents are dead.
That I know.
These are the Palestinians that I saw. You know what he's doing there? He's picking up noodles from the ground because there was no food left. You see all those crushed boxes? No food left for him. You know why his face is red?
How do you not want to like break people in half? You know, I feel that level of rage, and I'm not really capable of breaking.
These are the Palestinians that I know. Look at this girl. This is the girl. This girl right here. Talk about a warrior. I mean, modern day Joan of Arc right here. She shows up to the site alone. Parents are probably in the crowd somewhere, but she shows up with her backpack, and she showed up and talked to one of the local Palestinian workers, and she said, I'm here to get food for my family, and all the food's gone. I'm not leaving until I get food. So I had this package of cookies. Some of the contractors, you know, we had a heart. So I bought some of these cookies in this package here, and in this package of cookies are multiple packages, kind of like the small packs of Oreos, you know? And I give them to this girl. And she doesn't run off with the package. You know what she does? She opens it up and starts handing it out to other Palestinian children. And when she was done, I said, hey, you got to go home. It's time to go home now. You got to go home. And she looks at me and she says to the interpreter, this was my home. My home used to be right here before it was destroyed. You go home. She said that to me. You go home. Damn. These are the Palestinians I know.
Yeah.
These are the Palestinians I met. Hamas, give me a break. These are the Palestinians I know. These are the people that I met. Look at that.
They're real people.
Real people.
Anthony, normally we wait to do super chats after our guest has departed, but this is a very important one. Texas grown, and he did leave a nice, very nice contribution. Lieutenant Colonel Aguilar always says, if we had done something, well, you did do something, and that makes you a man of integrity and Christ's child. What do our fellow enlisted think? I hear we are split on Israel in the military now.
Every soldier, every officer, when you raise your right hand, you swear an oath and allegiance to the United States. As an enlisted soldier, you swear an oath to the officers appointed above you, and you will follow the orders of those appointed above you. As a United States Army officer that gives those orders, you do not swear an oath. And it's in here. I've taken this oath 25 times. I've taken this oath.
Look, see, again,
25 times I've taken this oath. And when an officer takes an oath, we do not take an oath to a president, to a Congress, to a people, to a government, to a political party, to a contract, to a paycheck. We take an oath only to the Constitution of the United States. We swear to defend and uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, period. So the military should not be split on Israel or America. That's ludicrous. And right now, we are in a position to where it is Israel or is it America? So if you're in the United States military under the Department of Defense or any citizen of America, especially if you're in the United States military, there shouldn't be a split. There shouldn't be a choice. It is not for the military, it's not America first, it's America only. So for that, it shouldn't even have to be. U.S. service members shouldn't have to take to platforms to call out genocide. Can you imagine?
No.
Can you just imagine if during World War II, when during the post hostilities, Victory Day in Europe, the concentration camps are found. General officers at the time said, I want pictures, I want photographs, I want this documented because one day people will try to deny that this happened and I will not allow it. What happened to that military? What happened to that army that now, this is the army that if we went to the concentration camps, you would have people saying, well, you know, Germany's got good beer. I don't know if we want to make them mad. Like, let's not talk about Holocaust stuff. Bullshit. There shouldn't be a split in the military. It should be very clear, America first. And right now, putting Israel over the U.S. interests is not only unconstitutional, it's treason.
Yeah.
Talk about synchronized statement. We cannot thank you enough for coming on. Again, we have blood rage. I can't even imagine the type of blood rage that you have.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've never put my life on the line for this country to then have it feel like this is what my country's about. I mean, I had to deconstruct being brainwashed Zionist, but that doesn't even compare.
But compared to where we were, compared to what has been, the ties that are so blatantly obvious now, whether it's JFK, whether it's the USS Liberty. In fact, we're working on having one of the surviving members of the USS Liberty on our show very soon. I won't say.
Please let me know when that is. I'd love to listen.
100%. No, we'll definitely keep in touch. No question about it. Whether it is going to Iraq. You know, people forget that it was Netanyahu who was one of the most vocal people in all of the hearings that said, if we go into Iraq and we take out Saddam, things in the Middle East will be so much better. If you think about 9/11, if you think about everything that has transpired up until this point, Israel has been the biggest bane on our existence by a margin that the Soviet Union could only have wished that they actually were on our country during the
Why do you put that on them like you think they wish to harm us? They're not our enemies.
I didn't say that they did. I'm saying that the enemy that we believe the Soviet Union to be is nothing compared to the real enemy that the genocidal fake state of Israel that they are. You are a hero to this country, not just because you served and served honorably, but because you really have put your life on the line in a way that nothing you did in the uniform could ever compare. There are military contractors now who have you on a hit list. God knows how many of them are out there. They want you to shut the fuck up.
You look very
concerned. Because I tell you, military contracting, especially in Gaza, is good money.
Yeah,
it's real easy. It would have been incredibly, incredibly easy. Incredibly easy. So easy that I don't have to do anything. To say nothing, look away, collect my paycheck, come on home, buy a boat, live the high life, and who cares? No one's going to know. No one's going to know. And just Anthony, be quiet about it. But I know.
You know, because you have to be, again, I'm guessing you were raised Catholic. You got to live with yourself. And not everybody can. Some people can. They can look the other way. They're willing to basically commit the worst form of blasphemy, as far as I'm concerned, to basically spill innocent blood for profit. And there are plenty of people who are willing to do it. But you know what? It wasn't a little bit of money. I know for a fact that in your position, it was probably in the millions, because I know what these people offer. I know a guy who got a contract from Halliburton in Baghdad back in 2005, I think it was. He was given.
Had I stayed on for the year contract, I would have cleaned $1 million. Yeah. Over easy.
That's offensive to me. That's offensive to me. I can't.
So when they pass,
it's obnoxious.
Yeah, when they give out the contracts, I knew a guy back in, like I said, like 2005. I knew of one of these NGOs that was given $25 million to do what? To build a gas station. Build a gas station, which maybe would have cost, let's say, $500,000 to $1 million, and they pocket the rest of the money. And that's basically how this works. So when people wonder, why do we have, when everyone's wondering, how do we spend $1 trillion on our defense? This is not about defense. This is about a cash machine that has created, again, do you know where the highest concentration of millionaires exists in the world today? Just outside of Washington, D.C., in southern Maryland and northern Virginia. That's where they all live. That is the highest concentration of wealth by far. I know people think it's New York or San Francisco or L.A. or even Chicago.
It's weapons contractors.
Weapons contractors. That's where the money is, baby. So that's why when people are wondering, why do we allow this to go on? Because there is not just a little bit of money. There is a shitload of money to go around, and there is a lot of people willing to put their hands out and say, yeah, give me some. What is it that you want me to say? Oh, Israel is really the victim here. I'll say that. Not a problem. It is our job to continue to push your message.
Yes.
And anyone else who has the courage to step up and do the right thing. I hope you have inspired other members to do so. I have a good friend who is a Green Beret as well. He is a devout Catholic. He is absolutely beside himself. He says it all the time. Look, I am the biggest Trump supporter in the world, but I cannot get past this. This is unacceptable. And as much as people want to say that this is Trump's fault, no, what Trump has done is he has completely exposed this thing in a way that is what always the greatest fear. He doesn't protect empire the way others do. We're totally going there for the oil. We're totally going there for the real estate. Well, guess what? You have completely shot your load and then some. Now it's just a question of, when do we end this?
Well, it's going to end. It's going to end. I also wanted to say, Anthony, thank you very much for talking about Amir. And I say that because these are kids that I will never get out of my mind for the rest of my life. I hear him. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. That precious baby. And I will never get him. I will never get Henry Rajab's voice out of my head for the rest of my life. And I don't want to, because I have to remember. And that's what I'll tell people. If you ever see me affiliating with Zios or anyone who wasn't on the right side of history, please assume that I've developed Alzheimer's or some other form of dementia, because I will never get that baby's face out of my head for the rest of my life. So I know that sounds kind of like masochistic for me to say thank you for that, but thank you for that.
One thing that I got a question that was asked to me today earlier on an interview, and they asked me. Actually, it was with Colonel Black with Veterans for Peace, former senator from Virginia, who's a huge advocate for speaking up against Israel and what's going on. But he asked me, with everything you've seen, what affects you the most? Like what's impacted you the most that's never going to leave you? Saw a lot of death. Saw a lot of destruction, but what will never leave me is the spirit and the passion and the kindness of the Palestinian people that I met. That's what will never leave me. The will and the spirit and the overcoming of what they've gone through, that they're still fighting. That is inspiring to me. And to your point on being raised, I was raised Catholic, but my parents also raised me to not be an asshole. And anybody that turns a blind eye to this, that denies that it's going on and does nothing, is an asshole.